Ours. All the characters in this story are blessed with such tragic lives that if they were in another tale, they would be heroes of it. But no. Here they are presented to you as nothing more than vehicles of your own amusement and pleasure, with no consideration for their inner souls. We will be delving into the histories of the Husk you play as in this game, starting with Invader. Having the strongest will to possess, yet possessing nothing of its own, the intruder from another world journeys on. Unmatchable, untouchable, unsurpassable. Nova Kid, Cosmorphosis, Exotic Cutter, the Stellar Swarm assimilated as one. Clock Strings. The Invader, the first playable host in Hours. The Invader is shown to be a feral entity, acting upon simple instincts to kill, assimilate, and grow stronger. It has become so efficient in the matter that it has evolved to feed through its blades, and now it has intruded into our world to continue with its purpose. The Invader doesn't possess a soul, rather, multiple, as a consequence for robbing other beings of their power. It gains another soul, another consciousness, which is why it possesses nothing of its own. Its true name is clock strings. When the strings of a clock stop, in this case being the hands, time technically halts until it moves again, leading to its canon tempo being gold. Enslaved by fate, he foresees and makes it true. With dull eyes, he looks forward to the end of the line, after which the rest is blank. Fate bound, fate sealed, fate denied. Eldritch doom destined Casseworth, he who awaits at the end of the line. The royalty now turned into a vessel for fate. The second unlockable host, King Doomdestine, known as the Prophet. The Prophet was originally a king, the ruler of a thriving kingdom, with some unfortunate event causing him to be able to view future events, sprouting irises all over around his body. The event that caused the Prophet to have the ability to view the future is unknown, but it appears that he's become numb to the burden. A side effect of his power is that the Prophet has been found a newborn fondness for fighting. Upgrades like Thirst for Battle, Tremble in My Presence, and all of his steel upgrades supporting this. For obvious reasons, his canon tempo is Iris. His mind, unable to hold more, he sees, yet he does not witness. He shall become the rain that extinguishes the dawn. Mind blown, mind frayed, mind scrambled. Celestopia Aquarius Borealis, reign over dawn. Memories from the beginning of the realm. Our third host, who is titled the Witness. The Witness is one of, if not the oldest hosts, and it is assumed that he has been cursed with immortality. What caused the Witness to have his mind blown, scrambled, or frayed doesn't seem to be one event, but rather a plethora. His upgrades seem to be remnants of memories of tragedies or celestial portents he has seen throughout his life. First stage of grief being the loss of a friend. Photon Accelerator and Cosmic Warhead being remnants of war. Unlimited Rulebook holding cosmic secrets. The main event being the birth of a new universe, as detailed in his old true name. The Witness seems unable to overcome or wash out what he has seen. The phrase, reign over dawn, being symbolic of sadness, overcoming new beginnings or determination alongside new hope. The Witness's constant recollection of the past, leading its tempo to be dust. An existence born of itself, weaved from a string of ones and zeros. Nobody knows what thoughts lie in its head. The root, the source, the origin. Arc Maestro, Mythoweave. An existence born of itself. The Artisan, a robot, which anonymously has been created from a simple binary strings, rapidly multiplying its code until it was of caliber to build itself a body, then learning the build of robots and structures in the forms of its artillery, support, and vanguard unities, along with its plethora of turrets, all controlled by a collective hive mind. Everything surrounding the Artisan is largely unknown, due to no flesh beings able to communicate with it, nor know what thoughts lie within its head. Therefore, we cannot know if it possesses benevolent or malevolent intentions. Its canon tempo would either be Mas, for its inherent ability as an artificial intelligence to process information more quickly, therefore perceiving time differently, or Xeon as a representation of its rapid evolution. Once a proud member of the guilty, now forlorn in exile, they say the eyes are windows to your soul, and only half the soul remains. Snake-eyed, cat-eyed, eagle-eyed. Trickshot Doc's Enigma, sole survivor of the Guild of the Guilty, the host unlockable by beating the game, known as the Vestige. Little known fact is that the Vestige is actually a mage that channels his magic through the firearms implanted through his arms. The Vestige's tale starts with a gang and or family titled the Guilty. He did not don the title of the Vestige until a certain tragedy occurred, during what could be assumed to be a gang war between another faction. Trickshot seemed to have lost his focus, and instead of the enemies, he accidentally murdered all of his other Guilty members, driving him into a deep depression which continues to plague him. This event caused him to figuratively and literally lose a part of himself, explaining his missing eye. The Vestige's Cannon Temple would be swapped, dirt, cast, or disc as he summons a clone of himself to attempt to regain a part of himself that he lost. Owning nothing, knowing nothing, wanting nothing. Yet, his existence is far more meaningful than any other. Faceless, soulless, depthless, Zerano, the Visitor. As the name implies, the Visitor origin is not from his realm. He is simply but a temporary resident. He hails from a dimension known simply as Anti, leading to the very matter compromising the Visitor to be different, leading to him being mainly incompatible with his universe. The dimension's relationship with the temple of the same name is to this point unknown. The visitor seems to have a strong connection with nothingness in an optimistic manner. Upgrades like Gone, Absolute Nil, From Nihil, even his name, Zeranil, are all relating to the feeling of nothingness or unimportant. Although it seems as if the visitor doesn't see nothingness as a negative attribute. Although of all this, the visitor is more important than anyone else. The visitor's cannon temple is clipped for its functionality of having something occur during nothing. He defies the laws of reality, making energy and matter from nothing. He truly is the ultimate life form. Prideful, graceful, beautiful. The riddle major, the test subject. The story of the subject is very ambiguous, but what can be found is the subject was able to attain abilities to create energy and matter from the form of potions out of nothing, breaking the laws of physics. This power was realized by a third party who locked up and used Riddle Major as his namesake, a test subject. Experimentations performed on him eventually drove him to madness, leading to his constant pride and grace, moving with elegance as a form of life. An unknown event occurred then, a breach in security, which allowed the subject to escape. The subject's cannon temple was launched, for its ability to create damage out of seemingly nothing, doubling it. Fake, unnatural, artificial. He feeds her his vitality to keep her in his realm. She keeps him company in his lonely world. His will becomes a reality. Her hands create his destiny. Together, they seek out what they have lost. Long gone, long lost, long forgotten. Mr. Skay. It is important to note that parting is not the stand user, but rather the combination of both the user and the stand. Therefore, I will be referring to each entity by their names, Easy Lover being the stand, and Mr. Skate being the user. The parting used to be one entity which came apart through an event titled The Split. This event caused the entity to become two different beings. Mr. Skate is actually a real word of a definition, but it is a male version of a mistress. This doesn't necessarily mean Mr. Skate is in marriage with anything in the traditional sense. Marriage's second definition is a combination of elements, exactly what the parting used to be, a combination of the Mr. Skate and Easy Lover. So the thing they seem to be looking for is a way to reconnect these two parts of them. The parting's cannon temple is home for its ability to disregard the negativity of the situation and go back and fix the current issue, like parting is attempting to do. His mind taken over, his body no longer his, he robbed the world of its prayers and lost his own, to die and be at peace. All-seeing, all-knowing, all-possessing. White space. The Dreamer is the first and only host accessible through a game pass. It's important to note that Dreamer and the Resident Mind are two different entities. Another important thing to know is that in ours, prayers and souls are the same thing. Dreamer was, like the Invader, originally one person or entity. Through unknown means, in the pursuit of peace, the Dreamer stole all the world's prayers, which led to his death, with the consequence of creating the Resident Mind. The collective manifestation of all the soul's unconscious. The Dreamer, now soulless, acts upon pure reason. The Dreamer's cannon tempo is anti, using souls that he has collected to boost the damage of what attacks he is performing. Spirit and technique, flawless and firm. One man, one sword, one purpose. The Neo Arc. The Drifter is the only other boss Echo with a true name. Important note that Ronin Alpha and Drifter are not the same entity. Lesser known fact is that the Neo Arc is a real family name. Not much is known about it, but what we do know is that the Newark family heritage lived in a very harsh condition. Another lesser known fact is that Drifter's host name used to be The Failure. Taking all this into account, along with some aspects of Ronin Alpha, brings me to this theory. The Newark was raised in a family of swordsmen, but when it came to his turn to carry on the mantle, he was deemed unworthy, a failure. He was terrorized, run out, and now he wanders adrift in search of a purpose. This purpose being finding a worthy foe. But Drifter's Cannon Temple is dive for his gameplay ability to be able to parry anything during halted time. He got tired of being a normal enemy. Blazing, burning, boiling, hot trash. The first common enemy Echo hosts. There is nothing important to know about the hot trash other than the fact that he is a warrior on Peacock Peaks wielding the Link sword, who grew tired of simply being confined to the battlefield upon the heights and decided to venture further. The hot rash has no canonical tempo. Tenets on fire. Veni, vidi, vici. I came, I saw, I conquered. Manohang. The Hellion. The rider of the Phantom Lamborghini Countach. The Hellion seems to be the so-called champion of Mirai Mirror, according to his true name adjectives. Other than this, he seems to be a troublemaker. A Hellion, if you will, and nothing more. The Hellion's Canon Temple can be assumed to be Word, for he's the only host to be able to unlock it. You're a Mallard, Harry. Dumb, daft, dim. La Dule, the Duck Wizard. The Buffoon is a member of the Wizards of the Roblox Isles, one of the 9 clans of Robloxia. But with one important addition, he's just dumb. He's just stupid. Yeah.